I am fearful for what is becoming of Canada, okay? I live here. It's my home. I've lived here for 32 years now, and I am, in fact, if somebody could finance it, planning my escape from this increasingly socialistic hellhole. And, yeah, I'm putting out this message before it becomes illegal, I guess, because Liberal government's online streaming bill heads to the Senate after third House reading. Now, I've got a little bit of hope. Not a whole lot of hope. Well, I got a little bit of hope because the Senate so far, which is normally just a big rubber stamp committee, has been very against what the Trudeau government has been doing recently when it comes to his authoritarian overreaches of stuff. But, oh man, I don't really know. I think that they see through this paper-thin coalition that the Liberals and the NDP have right now and just kind of see it as lording their theoretical opinion of control over a population that doesn't much care for their ideals on this stuff, mostly because all of this stuff happens under the cover of night, if we're being completely fair. No, Canadian politics doesn't get the same coverage of the American politics. That's very patently obvious, okay? It's just, we're still operating. Can you believe this? Federal government is still operating mostly remotely. Like, I don't even think Trudeau has shown up on Parliament Hill. Oh, Lord, since probably he evoked the Emergencies Act. Like, that dude hasn't even sniffed the House of Commons in weeks at this point. But he's supposed to be our fearless leader when it comes to all this stuff, you fucking fattening sack of shit. I hate him so much. I don't hate a lot of people, but Trudeau makes me break that because he's just an insufferable sack of shit who I hope falls down a steep, rickety set of stairs and falls on all of his fucking confiscated guns, sack of shit. But no, he's, trying to suppress all information in the internet to make it the most restrictive such bill outside of North Korea and China, which is great because that's our future if nobody does anything about it, which is exactly what's happening right now. And don't worry, it gets worse. The Liberal government's online streaming bill, which has been the subject of fierce debate among members of Parliament, is now heading to the Senate. Bill C-11 passed third reading in the House of Commons with a vote of 208 to 117, with the Conservatives opposing the proposed legislation. Yep, can't do fuck all about it because NDP and the Liberal government, they have just enough votes from Toronto and Vancouver. Outside of that, though, they don't speak for the rest of the country. But yeah, no, it's a big place. But there's a lot of people in Vancouver and Toronto who think exactly the same. It's like if America was run specifically by San Francisco and Los Angeles, that little cabal, and New York. That's it. Nobody else in the middle. You just got to deal with the consequences of what everybody else in those two specific locations think. Isn't it great? Everybody loves a good old-fashioned democracy. The bill would update the Broadcasting Act to bring streaming This is the most fucking generic and charitable interpretation, if you're looking at this through a Liberal government lens, I've ever seen in my entire life. Streaming platforms such as Netflix and Amazon Prime within a regulatory regime. It would also apply to platforms including YouTube and Spotify. Yes, the biggest critics of said government because you already control and fund Canadian content on Netflix, Amazon Prime. You already get preferential treatment, okay? If you consume YouTube through any other application, like a smart TV, okay, even still, yeah, I think even on your phone you have like the different tabs that show up on the side, where you got your home screen, and then you got music, and then you have news, and maybe I think it's sports, and then your subs or whatever. But if you go to news, it's all of the government mandated and regulated news feed that's on there, okay? If you get like an independent guy like myself or anybody else who likes to talk about the news, no, you think that we're getting preferential treatment? You even think that we're getting fair treatment on this type of stuff? I don't think so. Okay, but this is supposed to help YouTube, okay, suss out good local Canadian content that's approved by the liberal government. So do you think your boy over here is going to be getting any sort of help out by the government, or do you think he's going to get suppressed for his controversial takes on things? Exactly. Critics of the bill say that, as currently worded, it could also apply to amateur videos and user-generated content posted on YouTube. That's exactly what it's after, because that's what the Liberal government has been pining for a long fucking time. You can even go back to last year. Okay, talking, there was that Frenchman. He's the part-time Greenpeace activist who was formerly locked up, and then he became the heritage minister. I don't know. I make it an effort to not remember any fucking French that's out there, okay? But he was pushing for this because we don't really like anybody who comments against the government, and we want to make sure that they are very silenced on their opinions because fuck them. We are in power. They elected us. But yeah, no, we don't want to have their opinions heard out here, so we're going to go ahead and silence them because they're being mean to like trans people or something. But now, try it again. Okay, that bill thankfully was squashed by the Senate, so that gives me a little bit of hope. But again, the fact that Trudeau and his lackeys can continue to do this fuck shit and there's zero consequences to the cunt really pisses me off. And then especially, this is something I made reference to a few different times, okay? I can't remember specifically when we're talking about Canadian issues, but there was this big gun grab in 2020, okay? In Nova Scotia, there was this big mass shooting. And then you started to take a look in the background, start to realize that there was some sort of RCMP connections. Basically, our federalized police force that's out here, cities and municipalities have their own bylaw and their own police departments as well. But the RCMP takes a look after smaller municipalities. They have little outposts out there as well, but they also act as a federal entity as well. And they basically had a lot of connections with the guy who perpetuated this big mass shooting that was out there, okay? And then in the aftermath of that, you know what old smiley half a Castro there said? We need to take away everybody's rifles and the weapons of mass destruction or whatever other fucking dumb shit. You know, whatever turns him on because it's long and black and hard and fits conveniently up his fucking ass. Or for him, hopefully those rifles that he confiscates also come with toe triggers and fit conveniently in his mouth. RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lukey promised Trudeau's then Public Safety Minister Bill Blair and the Prime Minister's office that the Nova Scotia mass murders would be used for political gain to help pass gun control laws. I need to do a follow-up on the Uvalde shooting down south because that was exactly, they used this fucking blueprint in order to push through their fucking schemy gun control laws. Looks like they took it exactly from this incident. It's... oh, buddy. According to the bombshell from the Halifax Examiner, the commissioner pressured the RCMP to release details about the weapons used by Gabriel Wortman on his April 18th and 19th, 2020 attacks on civilians. Commanders in the Nova Scotia RCMP refused to do so out of fear it could jeopardize investigations. Yep, very little information about this came out. All we knew is that, yes, 22 murders had happened. It was the biggest mass shooting in Canada. I'm pretty sure it still is. I don't think anybody's gone fucking mental ever since. But even still, not a lot of information came out of this, okay? Just some weird wire transfers, okay? Some weird banking statements came out, but not a lot of additional information from investigations that happened. All it was, oh fuck, this happened, and then literally within a couple of days, big gun control pushes after that. It really gets the old noggin jogging. RCMP commanders had fears that revealing the info would interfere with a cross-border police investigation into how a killer managed to obtain and smuggle into Canada 4 illegal guns used to commit many of the 22 murders. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like he got help from the RCMP. It was found that Wortman had paid a man named Neil Gallivan to purchase an assault rifle at a 2019 gun show in Houlton, Maine, and also obtained 2 illegal handguns from a collector and close friend named Sean Kalong. All right, Gallivan and Kalong, whatever, have both not been charged with anything up until this point. Well, if you already know that stuff, and you know that they illegally purchased it, why don't they have any charges against them? Methinks that there's a little bit more to this story, but you already got your gun control laws passed through, so it's all good. It's all on the up and up. Now you've just decided in the wake of Uvalde, because hell, it worked the first time. Oh, we can just fear people into handing over their whatever firearms weren't initially regulated. Sometimes words are hard. Put a big pause or freeze on handguns, and now everything else is being pushed across to the side because, probably using the same tactics that Joe Biden uses. You don't need that, okay? And then most recently, stupid Trudeau. Oh, you don't need a gun for home self-defense. Sorry, what? You're just supposed to tell them, oh, sorry, you locked the door, eh? And I'm not letting you through, huh? No, exactly. Again, restricting the rights and the ability of law-abiding citizens to just exercise their own private property rights will somehow lead to fewer criminals committing crimes. Makes zero fucking sense. It always has and it always will. But because it's the government, they love those never gonna work, never gonna fucking cause anything to change. They love that stuff, okay? It's just like Hollywood's with reboots. Shit that failed in the past, hell, we'll just put a new coat of paint on it and it'll continue to fail into the future. But it's popular because there's enough fucking retards out there with just single-digit IQ scores that'll just continue to fucking vote for it because he's the man with the pretty hair. During the press conference and a week after the massacres, Chief Superintendent Chris Leather answered questions about everything except for the details regarding how the firearms were obtained. Yeah, exactly. You want to start pushing through all of these restrictive gun laws? Okay, then tell us how these gun laws that you're pushing would somehow have prevented this from happening. Oh, wait, you can't? Interesting. Following that press conference, Assistant Commander Lee Bergman Leather and Nova Scotia Communications Director Leah Scanlon, here's a name, had a meeting with the commissioner and a deputy from Ottawa on a conference call. The Examiner states that Lukey, who the hell is that, was not happy and included handwritten notes made immediately after the meeting. The commissioner was obviously upset. She did not want to raise her voice, but her choice of words was indicative of overall dissatisfaction with our work. Why was that so hard to read? The commissioner accuses me, of disrespecting her by not following her instructions. I was and remain confused over this. The commissioner said that she told communications to tell us at H Division to include specific info about the firearms used by the killer. However, I said it couldn't be, that we couldn't because to do so would jeopardize ongoing efforts to advance the U.S. side of the case, as well as Canadian components of the investigation. Those are facts that I stand by them. Yeah, exactly. During this entire investigation, which is still ongoing or something like this, that happened over 2 fucking years ago. Couldn't let anybody know about that stuff, huh? But you managed to write up and pass legislation in that time. Interesting. Campbell's notes said that Lukey was sad and disappointed that the details were not provided to the media regarding the firearms. The note continued. The commissioner said that she promised the Minister of Public Safety in the Prime Minister's office that the RCMP would release this information. I tried to explain here that there was no intent to disrespect anybody. However, we could not release the information at this time. The commissioner then said that we didn't understand and that he was tied to pending gun control legislation that would make officers and the public safer. I hate whenever you hear the government promising to make you safer, they're doing something to restrict your rights. You can fucking well bet your bottom dollar on it. He was very upset, and at one point, the deputy commissioner, Brian Brennan, tried to get things calmed down, but had little effect. Exactly what you want. People who are spurging out, making all the fucking wide-reaching decisions. Exactly. People who can't get their emotions under control in a high-pressure situation should not be in those high-pressure situations. You should weed out those motherfuckers. But again, this is the Trudeau government we're talking about, and they choose based on, it's current year, as opposed to qualifications. So again, are they going to be facing any consequences because of that? Fuck no. They got the NDP in their back fucking pocket, okay? You got this bitch with a beard, not Candace Bergen. She at least dyes her mustache. But no, the NDP is just going to help Trudeau turn another fucking blind eye to this stuff. This revelation that they purposefully misled the public in order to pass wide-ranging gun control and then start to censor communications. Sounds a little authoritarian, a little tyrannical. It's almost like the public should call an Emergencies Act on the government. Draw your own fucking conclusions. Tory leader doesn't trust NDP to not cover up for the Liberals after disgusting accusations over Nova Scotia investigation interference. We see the NDP help cover up a lot for the Liberals. Yeah, this is like the, fifth or sixth different violation that Trudeau has committed since he's assumed office in 2015. 7 years and probably one major scandal. Okay, I've even lost track of how many there are. One enough that would sink, okay, any head of state that's out there, okay? All of them in totality, each and every one of them, is as big, if not bigger, than that which took down Richard Nixon in 76? But guess what? No. We got the golden boy. We have the chosen child in his on his rightful throne. Exactly, the one with the fist on the seat. But we're never going to get to the fucking bottom of this because Trudeau has the NDP in his back pocket. And he blacks out all of the fucking documents because you don't need to know. You're on a need-to-know basis. You're just the public. You're too stupid to understand what the government is on about. We have your best interest in mind. We're here to keep you safe. I hate talking about Canada. The only thing I want to talk about going forward when it comes to Canada is me leaving and never fucking coming back because that dude right there, Pierre Polly, whatever the fuck, Polly Pocket, I'm sure he's going to make a wonderful leader of the Tory party, okay? He's going to make a wonderful head of the Canadian Conservative Party of Canada. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be a couple years out for having the opportunity to become Prime Minister. And at the end of the day, he still didn't meet with any of the truckers in Ottawa. He still remained silent and did fuck all whenever Justin Trudeau would continue to re-up all of the different pandemic provisions that were out there. He's another fucking spineless cuck, but he's really running off at the mouth right now. So you have a bunch of these retarded conservatives who are out there going, he's gonna be such a great fucking leader. No, he's gonna be the exact same shit that you've got with Andrew Scheer, and then Aaron runs his mouth while his wife gets railed by whoever does the fucking garden. O'Toole. How appropriate of a surname. He's just going to be the same in that line of do-nothing politicians who are just going to sit there in Ottawa and work together in the big overarching uniparty. So at least I hope that the Senate has some kind of balls, pushes back on Bill C-11, so I'll be able to give somebody some fucking updates. Other than that, I'm going to try to still get the fuck out of here. So if anybody would like to help me fund that escape, that'd be wonderful. And that'd be very, very appreciated. Thank you very much. But with all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.